Good morning or afternoon, everybody. It's Mrs. R. Sorry I couldn't be there today, but go ahead and take out your notes packet that says 8-4 trigonometry notes in the top right-hand corner of every page. I'll give you a couple seconds to get that out, or you can pause the video. If you do not have your notes, you can't find them, just go ahead and copy everything down on a piece of paper. Okay, so you should have your notes out. We're looking at the second page of your notes. You should be able to see right underneath where we did the last example. You should be able to see where it says calculating trigonometric ratios, just like it does up here on my slide. And you're just going to go ahead and fill in those blanks. And I'll give you a couple seconds to do that. Okay, so for this little section of problems, you will need a calculator. There's really no way to do it without a calculator yet. So go ahead and grab one of the OGT calculators. All right, and then we're going to follow the directions in my slide. Okay, these two examples are not in your notes. But I want to show you how to use your calculator to evaluate each of the two expressions here. So first, notice that the angle measures that we're finding the trig function values for, they're in degrees, okay? You need to make sure that your calculator is also in degrees. So you do that by, of course, turning your calculator on, and then you look right above this top arrow here on the screen. Should be about right there. You should see a DEG. You might instead see an RAD. If you see an RAD, what I want you to do is just clear your calculator's memory, which you do by just clicking the on button at the same time as you hold down the clear button. And then when your memory is cleared, it should come back and tell you that your calculator is in degrees. Okay, and once you've done that, now you are ready to use your calculator to evaluate these two values right here in number 1 and number 2. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to look at our calculator, and you're going to find where it says sine. It's right next to the pi button right here. If you look at my screen, I have a little arrow on it. You're going to push that button, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to put in 12. So 1, 2, and then you close your parenthesis, and then you hit enter, and it should give you an answer. Now your answer is not going to be a pretty answer most of the time. Most of the time your answer is going to be a really obnoxious decimal. And most of the time you will be asked to round to the nearest hundredth. Now remember, nearest hundredth means 2 decimal places. So I'm going to go ahead and write on here what my calculator screen says right now. So here's what my calculator says. It's really long decimal, but I only am interested in rounding to the nearest hundredth. So I'm going to focus right here. Now, to the right of my 0, I have a 7. So this 0 is going to be bumped up to a 1, giving me an answer of approximately 0.21. My 2's a little bit messed up there. Now to find either of the other 2 trig function values, you're just going to use the 2 buttons next to sine. So if you needed to find the cosine of an angle, you would just press the cosine button. When you look for the tangent of an angle, you press the tangent button. Okay, So now I would like you to go ahead and evaluate the tangent of 66 degrees. So you can just go ahead and pause me until most of you are finished. And then once you are ready to see what the answer is, you can go ahead and press play. All right, for the tangent of 66 degrees, you should have pressed the tangent button, and then 66, and then your end, the end of your parentheses, and then you press enter, and you should have gotten approximately 2.25. Okay, if you got 2.24, then that means you had a rounding error. And make sure that you're doing your wiggly equal sign because we are rounding here. And when we approximate answers, we do not use a regular equal sign because this is not exact. All right, now if you look back at your notes page, it says example and it asks you to find the sine of 50 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and write that up here. We're looking for the sine of 50 degrees. You should be able to do this one. So go ahead and pause me and then try it on your own. And then when you're ready to see the answer, go ahead and press play. Okay. Now for the sine of 50 degrees, you would just click sine and then 50, end your set of parentheses, and then press enter. And your calculator should give you an answer of approximately 0.77. I apologize for my handwriting on this thing. And now you should be ready to do the rest of the examples 1 through 12 right below here. Okay, for those of you who misplaced your notes, here are the problems that you need to do on your piece of paper. So you can just go ahead and have someone pause me. That way you can go ahead and copy these down and do them. There isn't anything too special about these, except on one of them, you will get a domain error. So that's what you're going to go ahead and write for that problem for your answer. Okay, so when you get a domain error, that is your answer. That's what you're going to write. And you will learn more about why you get a domain error at a different time. But right now, you're just going to go ahead and write domain error. If you get something that says syntax error, that means that you put it in your calculator wrong. You should not be getting any syntax errors. Okay, so go ahead and do all of these and check your work with the calculator.